Hello, and welcome to Wisdom of the Mystics. I'm Reverend Laura, and I'm here with the amazing Reverend Kathy. How are you, Reverend Kathy?
Oh my gosh, I'm doing great. I'm doing great, Reverend Laura. How are you doing today?
I am good. Yes, just enjoying this time in between the holiday season, in between Hanukkah, Christmas, and then New Year coming. It feels like a lulling kind of time, just to grounding time, which is good. And I'm feeling very excited to be here with you right now and with all of our amazing viewers. Welcome into Wisdom of the Mystics.
Welcome. No, thank you for sharing that, because it really, to me, these have been the holy days. And like you said, maybe it's a time of the in-between, like at least for Christmas, in a bunch of holy days, like we're in Kwanzaa right now, but then we're moving into a new year, a bright and shiny new year that we get to co-create with spirit with. And that's why I'm excited too about our show today, because so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do a recap of these amazing mystics. So here we are, the end of 2022. We've had a phenomenal year of like 24 Wisdom of the Mystics shows, and brought in amazing mystics, amazing super guests who have just so generously shared of their time and their wisdom. And then what we're going to do is you are the mystic. That's the mystical element is we are all mystics. We are all in tune with that great infinite intelligence of spirit. And so how wonderful. We're going to actually do a live visioning here for you in your life. And so I do invite you we're going to have a way you can do it on the computer through a Survey Monkey, or just having a pen and pad, a paper, so I just invite you at some point to get that. But oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for our viewers to share in to this final episode of Wisdom of the Mystics.
Yes, and so am I. And I've just put the live link that you're talking about, Reverend Kathy. I've just popped that into the comments. So anyone that's viewing and with us for the visioning, you're welcome to click on that link and to just to send in your visioning notes. Of course, they're confidential. It's really a record for you. And it's like when we write something down, it can magic happens, seeming magic happens when we actually put something pen to paper. So you can do that. We create one group kind of survey of one idea of the vision for your life coming into 2023. And magic does happen, because it's amazing. In September 21, when myself and Reverend Kathy got together and said, yes, let's do this. Let's create the Wisdom of the Mystics, co-create it. And look what happened. It's just amazing that so many incredible super guests said yes to coming on and presenting their mystics of who touched their hearts and shared the insight of those people's lives and how they are affecting my life now, and I'm sure your life too, Reverend Kathy. These mystics.
Absolutely, it's just been a powerful time, and what a blessing for us to be here. And speaking of visioning, that's how we started this show. Is we started it through a visioning process, and so how fun that we get to share that with everyone here.
Yes, and it's so good to see this. This is the outpicturing of our visioning process, Reverend Kathy. Wow. All of these shows that are on the Science of Mind Archives YouTube channel, all of these broadcasts from the super guests and their chosen mystics. So visioning is very powerful.
Oh my God.
Extremely powerful.
Yeah, we started from everything in the invisible and bringing it to the visible.
That's right.
And I just, that is our YouTube channel. And I just shared a
That is
link in the chat of the archives website. So they're
right.
all in one place and they're really easy to get to. And well, maybe it's having an issue. Sorry. But that's okay. Yeah.
Welcome here, Christopher. It's great to be here with you. And of course, anybody that's watching right now, you're welcome to, you are the mystic today, as always. So you're welcome to leave your comments or questions or just anything that comes through for you that's related to this. We'd love to hear from you and know where you are. I'm in the UK on the South Coast, and Reverend Kathy is
I'm
in
in Bailey, Colorado, on the
Bailey,
side of a
Colorado.
mountain. Yeah, just an hour outside of Denver. Yes, not, yeah. But I mean, so here we are crossing the pond, and that's the beauty of technology and this whole show. It's just been magical and mystical.
Yeah, really, really magical.
Yes. And I love what Reverend Laura put together. I don't know how we can see it, but can you share the
Oh,
beautiful movie?
I can remove. I think we need to be in the stream to actually be heard. So
Oh,
they were
sure.
each of the mystics, and you'll notice that there is a that we have the book in the middle there of Sarah Flowers, because there is not one image of her online anywhere. There's not an image of Sarah Flowers anywhere. So I put the book there because I wanted her energy in as a powerful, powerful mystic and practitioner.
See, and that I think that's one of the cool things is we brought kind of well-known mystics out here, Thomas Troward, Emma Curtis Hopkins, but there are folks like Sarah Flowers who are kind of not as well known. And oh my God, I think those are the ones that really touched my heart. You know, their passion and their mystical wisdom. And what a blessing again this show was, that we got to know again the known, and we brought the unknown into the known, you know, so they're all in our consciousness.
Yes, and we even had the energy of Gandhi and the consciousness of Gandhi for 3 weeks.
That's true.
It was persistent.
He was a persistent
He
mystic.
was a persistent mystic. He wanted the message out, the message of peace, to be well and truly heard and embodied and embraced. So Dr. Aaron came on the 3rd week, and which was great because he wasn't very well, and so for him to show up was a beautiful blessing for him to be present.
Absolutely. And so that was our last show in December. So we were meeting on the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month. And so this is on the second Tuesday of December. And again, his show is on that list on the archives website. But we were able to ask Dr. Arun Gandhi, what would Mahatma Gandhi say? What is peace? What is world peace? What does peace look like and feel like? And how would we have peace on earth? And I was like, oh my gosh. It's just like, wow, that for us to be able to do that and to have him as a super guest and Gandhi as our mystic, powerful show. And again, how neat to kind of look at them and recap them. And peace on earth, a great way to end the year, you know.
Yes.
Yes. So Reverend Laura, who has kind of touched your heart? What are like some of the mystics that kind of stand out for you? I know, right? That's a tough question.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I was really looking through them and in my heart sifting and sorting through, because there was, you know, each and every one for me, there were so many gems in each and every one. Like, how can I, and yet I feel there are a few that really, that I still have memories of these mystics, these people that touched me. One was Reverend Laura Hallett with Joel Goldsmith. I loved learning about Joel Goldsmith in the depth that she presented him, and just the body of his work and what he's brought forwards, and the way that he intentionally didn't want to have a ministry, and he wanted his work to be discovered and embodied without a practitioner, without a teacher, so that we each individually take on board his knowing and work it out for ourselves in our own way, in our own hearts. I liked that. I loved her presentation. It was interesting to hear about Joel and his story and how Ernest Holmes learned from Joel Goldsmith also. Yes.
No, that's beautiful. What a great summary of that one. Because again, she gave us practical tools. I think that's one of the things I like about our show. We learn about who people were as a person, what was their teaching, but how can we use it today? And I thought Reverend Laura did a great job of giving us tools from Joel Goldsmith that we could use now.
Definitely. And also what I love is that his course is still there, available online. And it's a 2-year course, and we can tap into and buy that course month by month. And they only release it when 1 month is completed. They'll release the next month with an affirmation for the month every single day. So the work is still available in a really practical way on the Infinite Way website. How about you, Reverend Kathy? Mystic knocked on your heart.
And I too was looking through and just remembering. It's like, oh my God, Jesus! We had Jesus on the show.
I know.
I mean, how we have Jesus? I was like, nice. But the one Reverend Dr. Peggy Hostetler talked about Nona Brooks and divine science. And I did go out and buy all the books that she mentioned from Nona Brooks, Short Lessons in Divine Science. And just even in the beginning, the main word and essence of divine science is omnipresence. It's omnipresence. So again, what I've gotten from I've heard of it, we pray it, we say it, omnipresent, omnipotent, stuff. Omnipresence, everywhere present. God is everywhere present. And so that means it is you and me. And so when we can tune into that omnipresence, it just gave me a depth of connection and enlightenment, so to speak, and attunement with spirit that it was powerful. So I'm so grateful for Reverend Peggy, Dr. Peggy, for sharing that.
Oh yes, that was an amazing broadcast, and also what struck me, not only with Dr. Peggy, with each of the guests that came on, the presenting guests, the super guests, the depth of their knowledge and the research that they had undertaken to discover more about their mystic, and Dr. Peggy was absolutely no exception to that. The depth of knowledge and understanding of Nona Brooks really came through.
It did. And her passion too. I think every super guest had a passion about these mystics because it touched and transformed their lives in some way. And so when they brought that passion to us, like we would catch it. It's like, I want what she's having,
It's true. It set me on a kind of a real investigation of, and there are so many YouTube videos online about each of these mystics. So,
yes.
So we can do a deeper delve into the lives of who we might, read their work and read their writings and their knowledge. And it's just so interesting to learn about them as everyday people. That was one of the questions that we asked each and every super guest. Who was this mystic as an everyday person? And it was great to hear. Especially Jesus, you mentioned Jesus, and Dr. Tony Lamata came on and presented Jesus, and when she said he was a rebel with a cause, he was a spiritual rebel. And Jesus, I loved that really, it's like, yes, Jesus was a spiritual rebel and an activist. I'll put
and I love that. What a great way to view Jesus, and he really, he was so connected to spirit, he was just so But it's these and greater things shall we do,
Yes,
Each one of us is this mystic. Each one of us
exactly.
is connected to spirit, but it's just allowing ourselves. I love in our teaching, and I see Christopher talking about Dr. Ernest
Yeah.
Holmes, he would share that Jesus was the great example of what we can all do, not the great exception to be put on a pedestal, but a great example. And so to me, that's a big reason we have this show, is that we're all mystics and we can all tune into this transcendent wisdom of spirit. And,
Definitely.
and
And welcome here, Christopher. If you've just started learning about Dr. Ernest Holmes, he's just come into your consciousness and awareness, your conscious awareness, then welcome here. We are talking about New Thought and the New Thought teachers that have kind of come before Dr. Ernest Holmes, and those that Dr. Ernest Holmes would have known about and assimilated their work together to really bring forward the teachings of religious science and science of mind. So each and every mystic that's here has, I'm sure, in some way touched the heart of Dr. Ernest Holmes. And you'll find Reverend Kathy left an article on Ernest Holmes for you there in the chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Reverend Kathy.
Yeah, so I happen to be, I'm executive director of the Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation. And so Ernest and I hang out. So we're the of the wisdom and the history of Dr. Ernest Holmes. And so the website is just a treasure trove. There's a lot of free articles. There's some articles for a subscription. And all of it is just helping us bring more and more wisdom of Ernest Holmes out to the world and New Thought. So, yeah, we're grateful you're here, and how wonderful. Oh, look at that. Tammy is saying, please read his autobiography written by his brother Fenwick. And actually, I might even just have, I am going to get up and grab it. I have it right here, as a matter of fact. And, here we go.
There's the Science Mind Archives.
Yeah, so it's they're all kind of battered and worn, but you can find it. It says Ernest Holmes, His Life and Times by Fenwick Holmes. So thank you, Tammy. It really is a great read. And I think the article I posted from the archives website, it really is taken from here. There's a lot of personal material, and it's readily accessible while you're waiting for your book to come. So
I tell you who else I really loved, and that was Reverend Mark's Gilbert's talk about William Walker Atkinson. I loved that. I just thought, wow, this mystic who wrote anonymously, wrote so many books and kind of went into the different characters of different people to write with, so that the message could come across in different ways for different people. I thought that was really clever and really inspiring. And I loved Reverend Mark's presentation of William. That was great.
No, I agree. And just like you said, no one would have known that. It took wisdom of the mystics to bring that forward, to hear the backstory of this mystic and how he did bring it forward in different ways. I mean, you will have seen a book. It was written by him or by one of his pseudonyms, but you wouldn't have known. But so again, Reverend Mark did such a great job of helping us fully understand, this mystic and how he showed up in the world.
Yeah. Yes, a lot of amazing information and content and aha moments, and just really for anybody that loves researching and loves delving deeper into and loves autobiographies and biographies, then the mystics, the Wisdom of the Mystics broadcast over the past year, I think has ticked some of those boxes. If you like going deeper into understanding people's lives, and especially the New Thought teachers, what actually inspired them or spurred them on. What came for me is what I've really realized in the past few years of studying New Thought and religious science and science of mind is the actual the healings that were happening for many of these people, their own personal healing, and how that kind of just blew the lid off of I've got to be a teacher of this because I've healed something really dramatically for my own life.
That's a really good point. And like you said, I think pretty much all of them had that happen to them, right? Yeah. I think the Fillmores, of Unity were really a powerful example of both Myrtle Fillmore and her husband, Charles Fillmore, had deep healings as they connected with Emma Curtis Hopkins. Emma Curtis Hopkins was known as the teacher of teachers. And she really, oh my gosh. And so we had Emma on our show too with Dr. Ruth Miller.
We'd have Emma. Oh my gosh. We had Emma and we had Myrtle.
Yes.
With Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes.
Yes.
That was incredible to learn about Myrtle Fillmore and to learn about Emma Curtis Hopkins from Dr. Ruth as well. And by the way, Dr. Ruth came on to the Women of Power broadcast last week, and she was talking about her grandmother who lived in India and worked with Gandhi.
Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
I know.
Nice.
She worked with Gandhi and then came back to America because her husband had to come back here. But it was just a really interesting story after we'd been with Dr. Aaron Gandhi and Dr. Ruth's grandmother actually was a devotee of Gandhi and worked with him.
That is, and I think that's part of New Thought and our mystical teaching is when we bring things into our consciousness, we start attracting it more into our lives, right? And I've just had Mahatma Gandhi all sorts of places. I mean, where I turn, there's a quote or there's a book or there's a teaching. And so I just feel, very blessed. And now I'm curious. I want to look for videos, documentaries, and books. I want to bring that consciousness of nonviolence and peace, into my world because peace is my thing. But to learn from a mystic and a master and to open my heart, what is mine to do to be more peace on the planet? And again, to be attracting these mystics and learning from them and their stories and their lives.
Yes, and they're so relevant. Yes. Even though for so many of them, their understandings and their teachings differ in the nuances. I mean, if we look at Mary Baker Eddy, she really did believe that, or Christian Science, the whole body of Christian Science teaches that, we don't need medicine because we can do it all through prayer. And then Emma Curtis Hopkins arguing that and saying, well, if God is everything and God is everywhere, then God is in the prayer and the pill. So it's just great to really unravel the thought processes of these healers and teachers and mystics and how they got to where the conclusions that they got to for their own lives. I found it interesting.
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to look at it. And to go back to Dr. Ernest Holmes, of what Christopher talked about and mentioned, learning about him. I mean, he packed auditoriums. He figured it out, from a young age. I mean, he was just curious. He was just a curious, he would just ask a lot of questions, and he had loving parents. His mom and dad were just so supportive, and they didn't believe in the hellfire and brimstone stuff of some of those teachings out there. And they just said, it's all love. It is all God. It is all good. And Dr. Holmes on his radio show says, there's a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it. And that just so encapsulates I think the teaching of science of mind. And we were so blessed to have Dr. Jesse Jennings, as Laura showed us here, as our teacher, because he wrote the Essential Ernest Holmes. I mean, he teaches through Centers for Spiritual Living, their website. They teach the essential Ernest Holmes, and Dr. Jesse's been teaching the class. And he's a great friend of the Science of Mind archives. He's one of our researchers when we have a question. But his passion and his enthusiasm, as he brought as our super guest, again, you could watch this video and learn more about Ernest Holmes and who he was as a person, but what was his main teaching and how we can use it in our lives. Just powerful stuff. And again, I still, in my heart, I just imagine these auditoriums, they've set thousands and we're just overflowing. Back in the day, in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, Dr. Holmes packed the place. He just spoke truth. He spoke from his heart. He just opened and let spirit flow through him. And it was about healing. It is a healing ministry. We can heal, we can heal our own lives and we can heal other lives. And there's this invisible presence, this powerful presence. And it's pretty much just opening and revealing that divine truth. And, as I think even Ernest said, it's simple, but not necessarily easy.
Easy.
Right?
It's a practice. We practice, called a practice for a reason.
It's true.
Yes.
But I think once you get the bug, once you hear about it, you want to learn. You just want to learn more.
Learn.
Yes.
And there's something about, they say, well, it's said that we are the 7 people that we hang out with. And I think that that's true. I know that that's true of what we choose to watch and what we choose to read and what we choose to surround ourselves with. And we shift in our own mental atmosphere with the consciousness of what we're looking at, what we're taking, the type of information that we're taking in. And so when we start really delving into these mystics, we're hanging out with them.
I like that. Yes.
We're hanging out with them and they become our mentors and teachers and guides in really unusual ways and dynamic ways.
I love that. And it is, we can call them in. We can call them in, just like we did in our visioning to create this show. We said, what mystics want to be known and brought forward, and who's going to do that? Who's the super guest? And again, here we are 12 months later or so, and we have a full year filled with mystics and wisdom and just really useful. It's practical day-to-day things that we can use in our lives to be happier and more peaceful and to let go of things that don't serve us, things in our lives have been just kind of weighing us down, we can release it, know that principle is not bound by precedent. And in this holy moment, we can change our lives through one thought, one thought at a time,
And I love it that you've said that, because if I were to really feel into each of these mystics and the common thread, this is what they're all saying, that there's now and right now we have the choice. In every moment we have the choice. In every moment we have the ability to shift our perception and our perspective of how we see and feel and be with our lives. So this is what takes the practice, is actually putting this into practice, because it's very easy to stay with our habit, the habit loop that we're in. So for each of these mystics, they had to do that journey. They had to take that journey themselves to overcome the ego mind, that part of them that wanted to keep them in that place. And they each had to do the work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we're one thought away from freedom, one thought away.
That's beautiful.
Happiness and love and peace and bliss, one thought. And we can. Each one of us has that power. It's just sometimes they say we're either pulled by a vision or pushed by pain,
Or both.
Or both. You betcha. And so sometimes when life just kind of takes us down, it can take us to our knees, where you're just like, really, really, No way. Sometimes we can surrender our old habits, surrender and be open to receive, to be open to say, I am open to learn something new. I am open to something better and greater for my life. And it's kind of in that moment, when
Yeah.
everything, all of a sudden, the floodgates open, and the
Yes.
perfect teachers like Ernest Holmes or whoever will come into our lives, or someone will say, well, you should go to this center for spiritual living. I'm like, what's that? But you feel like an inner urge, an inner
Well, you should
guidance.
watch this video.
Yes, or you should watch
Yes.
this video or read this
Well, you should
book.
watch
Or,
this video.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
But we have to say yes, it's yes. We have to say yes, and when we say yes, the universe just responds. It is that loving presence. It is all good. It is all love. And we can bring that love into our lives, and our lives will be forever transformed into
Yes.
things beyond anything we could have ever dreamed. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So welcome here.
Well,
I can see that there are people here viewing and watching. Welcome to this episode of Wisdom of the Mystics. And we're here to shine light on the year that has gone and shine light on the year that is to come, the new cycle, the renewing as we enter into 2023. What's your vision for your life? What about you, Reverend Kathy? Do you have a vision for 23? Is there something shifting and moving within you?
There is, and I think it's very useful to take the time to really pray and meditate, to use these spiritual practices to open and to ask our higher wisdom, what is that great vision? And we're going to be doing that again very shortly for everyone here. But I think mine is, I've been just so blessed. I found love. I found a beautiful love relationship, and my JT, and he's wonderful. And we're to a place, we've been together almost a year, a place where you're like kind of more comfortable with each other, and you found that place of trust where you can now say, wow, what's our vision together? We've seen these principles and spiritual practices work. This was manifesting a miracle for me in my life. And now it's like, you get it's like, now what cool, wonderful things. We traveled the world, we traveled different countries, and we explored. And the other thing is the Science of Mind Archives is looking for a new facility. It's revealing a new place. And so that's going to be big for 2023. So to find that divinely perfect place that works for me as executive director, for the whole movement, for the higher consciousness of the archives, and just watch it flourish and grow and touch more and more lives, with being a very active archive and library and museum where people can come and really, really feel the essence of Science of Mind and bring it even deeper into their lives.
That's exciting. That's exciting, because I know where you are at the moment. You're quite away from the airport, and it's not as easy for people to get to. So this is moving you into a much more accessible venue.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, it is. It is. And so it's that unknown. So here, looking back at our lives 12 months ago to see all of 2022, what's unfolded, like the show even, you're just like, wow, thank you. You just open a place of gratitude. But that's what we're going to do now, is we're going to look into 2023 and get to that place of what is it? But we're going to co-create with spirit. Thomas Troward talked about the law of averages. Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe. We can let life happen to us, and we can be victims and react. Or what we're using this teaching is to take our own personal power back, to co-create with spirit and move forward in a powerful, loving way of what, pulled by that vision of what we do want, And so that's one of the things. So life can still happen, but we're grounded, and we're in our power. We're in that presence of love and peace, and we're clear on what it is.
And there's something, I believe there's something extremely powerful when I open to that vision, to the divine vision that's that's wanting to express itself in, as, and through me. And then I use spiritual mind treatment for that vision. Wow, that's very powerful, because then I'm intentionally co-creating my experience here.
I love that. So for you, what is your vision that's calling you for 2023?
Well, just as you found love, I got married. I married with Jason and became a licensed minister. So lots of new beginnings here for 2022. And I see that unfolding as I step more fully into, okay, how is my ministry unfolding, and allowing that to naturally unfold with the skills and interests and curiosity that I have to minister in the world. So I'm excited for 2023. I really am. It feels like a fresh, clean, kind of whole new beginning.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting. But I can see your light, and I can see your joy, and I can see your smile. And, and this is the proof in the pudding, or whatever they say, this stuff works. This teaching works and can create joy in our lives. And yeah, that's powerful.
And let's also remember that you became an ordained minister, Reverend Kathy. That's very beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes.
It is. And as you were talking about, thank you, as you're becoming a licensed member. But so what does it mean for me to be an ordained minister? For folks that don't know, once you become a licensed minister, there's a 3 to 4 year-ish time where you're learning still. You're learning and growing. And then you get to a place where you can apply to be an ordained minister. And I committed my life to this teaching. You're taking vows, and now, it's very powerful experiences. So for me too, also to say, what does that mean? What does that mean? Into that blank slate too. Wow. How can I serve? How can I serve in greater ways on the planet, in the world, to reveal peace, to share this teaching, to help others, to see that divine light, the divinity that's always within them, to shine, to be happy and joyful, and use experiences in life to not define them, but to define how they want to show up. You can use things as excuses as why you can't do something.
Yes, or reasons why you can.
Yeah. That's it. Yes, right. It's true. Yes.
It's so true. And for anybody that's here and watching, welcome, because we're here to really to just anchor in with that, what you've just said, Reverend Kathy, what Reverend Kathy's just shared about. Let's look at the reasons why we can. Let's look at those reasons and embrace them and go fully with them, full on, full out with those reasons why we can. So we let go of being in this state of victim. We're not victims, but we keep ourselves in a loop of being in a state of it. We let go of that, and we let the higher vision guide our lives. What is possible right now? Because as Mary Baker Eddy often quotes from Matthew, that all is possible in God. Mm-hmm. All is possible in God. And I think that's the basis of the visioning process. Yes, that all is possible in God.
Yeah, the omnipresence of spirit.
Yes.
Alrighty, so it feels like we're moving into our time of visioning. Yes, it feels good.
It does feel good.
Alrighty, so we'll put again in the chat if you want to. So note when you type into the Survey Monkey, when you hit done, it will disappear. So if you want to capture it electronically, copy and paste it into a Word document, or have the more analog, or whatever it's called, like pad of paper and a pen, to write down your visioning. The purpose even of putting it in the Survey Monkey is we're going to hold it in consciousness. We're going to collectively collect these visioning results, and we'll hold them in prayer, that powerful essence and practice of prayer. So we're supporting you on your journey and your great vision for your life, but we want you to have your results too. So copy, paste, or write it down.
Perfect. I'm actually going to just copy and paste mine into here now so that I can tap in at the same time.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful. They're all there, very clear.
Good.
And the questions are there.
Good. All right,
Okay.
beloveds. And so this is, do you want to describe what visioning is? Or
So when we vision, we open up to the higher idea of our lives. So we let go of, or we come away from the limited, finite idea which we might be holding in our human minds. I mean, we're all spiritual. The human is spiritual as well, and yet we get hooked on these ideas that it's got to be this and it's got to be that way and it has to be that. And when we vision, we open up to the greater idea, and inspirations come through that we may never even have ever had a glimmer of. And these things we record. It could be colors or shapes or sentences or words, or it could be a whisper of something, or it could be a scream in our heads, do this. It could be anything. I mean, really odd things come through. And yet when we do it more regularly, we can create a kind of a running journal of what's coming through, and then we can harvest after a few times of visioning. And we don't have time to do that. We do that. Reverend Robert visions every Monday here on the network.
nice.
Every Monday morning there's a visioning, so you can join in with Reverend Robert Brzezinski's visioning every Monday. And yet for now we're going to do it with myself and Reverend Kathy. We're going to guide you through a visioning process for the higher idea of your life.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, and so there's just a few questions we're going to ask. So what we're going to do is go into a prayerful place of opening up our consciousness, of letting go of the lesser for the greater, opening to the wisdom of the mystics that have come before. And then we'll ask some questions, and there'll be a little time of stillness and silence for you to receive whatever it is you get. And there's no right or wrong. It's all perfect. And then we'll wrap it up with a prayer. So it's kind of good.
Yes, fantastic. So Reverend Kathy, would you like to begin and to begin with and then to lead into the first two questions?
Perfect. Yes.
Great.
I'll
And then
hand them off to you.
Yeah. And complete with the prayer.
Okay. All righty. Well, I just invite everyone to get comfortable and just settle into your space, and just even get even a little more comfortable. If you have to just adjust your body. Let's just take in some nice, gentle breaths. So just these full breaths. It's the prana, the life force that breathes us, that loves us so much that we are here right now on this planet. We are here for a high purpose. So let's just breathe in the essence of peace. Feel peace. Fill yourself, your whole body. That life force is filling your whole body with peace. And then exhale peace. Feel yourself relax into this moment. Just letting go of any thoughts or anything that's come before. Just being fully present in this eternal now. Using that power of your breath. And just even I invite you to move your attention or awareness from your head to your heart space. Feel the beating of your heart. Feel the presence of love that's guiding and supporting you. Knowing there really is only this one presence, one thing going on here, and it's all God, the omnipresence of Spirit that's in, through, and around everything. It's so beautiful and powerful. The sun rises in the morning and it shines its light on us all day long. And then when it sets in the evening, the stars, the galaxies just shine so brightly in the darkness and the stillness. Just feeling the miracle that's all around us, the miracle of God, the miracle of Spirit, whatever you call it, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, just it's all spirit, it's all God. So using your breath to just tune into that and tap into that wisdom. I'm inviting the wisdom of all the mystics who have come before us on this show. And any mystic, we're just tuning into the oneness, that invisible presence, where they're all present here with us. They're all in our greater consciousness. Just feel your soul expanding. Feel yourself opening to receive this wisdom as we move into this visioning process. I just invite you right now as we ask the very first question. What is Spirit's highest vision for my life in 2023? What is Spirit's highest vision for my life in 2023? And I listen. And as you get information, just either write it into the Survey Monkey or on your piece of paper. If you have nothing, just capture it in your heart. What is Spirit's highest vision for my life in 2023? Let's take a breath and feel gratitude for the wisdom the mystical wisdom that's coming to us so effortlessly. As we move into our second question, what needs to be embraced for this high vision to be manifested? What needs to be embraced for this high vision to be manifested? And we listen.
Thank you, Reverend Kathy. We allow this high vision to come through. What needs to be embraced? Anything that is coming through, colors, shapes, messages, just write that down, be with it, allow it to be without any judgment, just letting spirit flow through as spirit does. And as we take a breath, and with gratitude for what has come so far and for what is yet to come, I'm just setting this next question forwards here. What needs to be released for this high vision to be made manifest? What can be released? What's calling to be released for this high vision to be made manifest? Just be with this and breathe with this. And breathing into this, just writing down either on your notebook or into that Survey Monkey form anything that's asking to be released, anything that isn't needed or not supporting anymore for this vision. And taking another breath and filling with gratitude here for the next question that's coming through for this vision. What are my next steps? What are the next steps? Be with this. Allow. And again, writing down anything that comes through or entering it onto this form. What are my next steps? And then moving into the final question here. Is there anything else that you need to know? Is there anything else that is ready to come through that you need to know right now? Just be with this question. Is there anything else? And I know that these questions are the beginning of a process of an idea. And that Spirit, God, Allah, Buddha, Yahweh, whatever it is that we name this great one as, it is always, always seeking to express and speak through me and each of us here. So I know that as we remain open at the top, open in our hearts, open and expanded in our minds to be the receivers of more inspiration, of more of this divine intelligence, that we become this open channel for the story, the true story of our lives. So I know that this is the beginning of an invitation opening to venture into next year, into 2023, that we start this now, as Reverend Kathy spoke so wonderfully about earlier, that we can do this now. We open up now and we be this idea right now. So this visioning process begins the process for our lives. And I am grateful. I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for Reverend Kathy, for the wisdom of the mystics, for every presenter, for every mystic, for New Thought Media Network, Reverend Robert, for providing this space. And mostly I'm grateful for each and every one that has been here and been a part of this and viewed these broadcasts and typed in questions and comments, because it's each of you and us that has made this possible. So I'm grateful for this high vision for our lives right now, and this great, true, divine idea that is absolutely seeking to express for that highest light and knowing of our lives. And with this gratitude, I pass this over to Reverend Kathy.
And I'm just filled with gratitude. Gratitude for each person who watches this and their yes to step through the lesser to the greater, from fear to faith, to open to their high vision and to say yes. Yes, to have that courage and to open and to receive the wisdom of the mystics, to move them forward and watch the magic happen, to watch, experience the magic happen in all of their lives. Because together we are uplifting, as we uplift our own lives, we're uplifting the world and revealing peace on earth. And I'm just grateful for this sacred, holy time together with all these Wisdom the Mystic shows. I'm grateful for Reverend Laura and her incredible, beautiful heart and her passion. I'm grateful for the Science Mind archives and how they're continuing to bring out wonderful things to help us, to give us the tools so we can practice and learn and grow. And I know our time here is so blessed, and all these visions are made manifest effortlessly and beautifully. And I surrender all this into the divine law that says yes. And we just let it be. And I encourage you, if this touches your heart at all, to anchor it together by saying, and so it is.
So it is. Yes. And so it is. Beautiful, Reverend Kathy. Thank you. Woo.
We've got it.
That's so good. And thank you, everybody, for being here and for being who you are. This is exciting. Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you, Christopher. I'm glad you were here. I'm glad Tammy and whoever's out there. And again, whenever you watch it, it really is that change your thinking, change your life. You know, we're all worthy of our high visions that came to us and so much more. We're grateful for you on the planet to help uplift it all. So thank you. And there you go. And so again, please visit the Science Mind Archives website where you can watch all the different shows and have this. Oh, thank you, Zoe. And just all this coming further, deeper into your life, to change your life and to be one with those mystics.
Yes, check out the Science Mind archives, definitely, because there's a lot of wisdom on there, and there's a lot of things that you can just peruse around and start learning and understanding at wherever you are. I mean, I don't mean wherever you are in the world. I mean, wherever you are with these teachings, there's always something to learn, and there's free content and free goodies and mind maps and all sorts of wonderful information there to inspire questions. That's what we're doing here, inspiring our own self-inquiry. And you can donate into the archives as well. There's the whole link there. And of course, New Thought Media Network is a global focus. I can get the words out. A global focus ministry. Every day we're here, every day of the year, doing something dynamic. And Wisdom of the Mystics is a part of that, has been a part of that. And there are other amazing broadcasts here on the network. For example, Zoe's show is great.
That's awesome.
Yes. Choice your superpower. Choice your superpower. I think I've left a word out there, but anyway, choice is your superpower. Yes. So Zoe's show and other shows. So stay tuned into New Thought Media Network for more great shows and broadcasts and education around New Thought and the teachings of science of mind.
Choice, your
Choice,
creative.
your creative superpower.
Thank you, Zoe.
I knew it. Thank you,
Well,
Zoe.
well, blessings as you end 2022 and have an amazing, magical, mystical 2023. We're grateful for you. Thank you for being you.
So grateful. So grateful. Have an amazing entry into 2023. And we'll see what unfolds for next year.
We will. Blessings.
Bye for now.
Bye. Bye.